Let's take a look at, this is our last page of our investigation on exponent rules. So hopefully you're kind of getting the hang of this. And again, we're trying to look for the pattern of how to go from here to here without having to write so many of these down. Let's zoom in on the first one. So this is showing two exponents, which is different than what we've seen before. So I'm going to take this exponent on the outside, 3, and I'm going to write this one 3 times. X squared once, x squared twice, x squared a third time. Now they're multiplying, and we already learned the multiplication rule. So this becomes 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 2. This is x to the 6th. So just like before, I want to give you the chance to work on these. So at this time, you might want to pause the video and get started working on these. Ready, go. Okay, and we're back, and let's take a look. This next one would be x to the 3rd times x to the 3rd, but just 2 of them. So 3 plus 3, this is also x to the 6th. Oh, these two have a lot in common. I wonder how else we could have gotten x to the 6th. For this one, x to the 2nd once, twice, 3, 4 times. So here we're getting 1, 2, 4, 6. This is x to the 8th power. Ooh, this is another one. X to the negative 2 times x to the negative 2 times x to the negative 2 is x to the negative 6th. How else can we write this? 1 over x to the 6th. This is to the 6th power. What do we get for this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we add these up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This one simplifies to x to the 12th power. All right, let's take a look at this. Is very interesting. This one has a number. So this is 2x squared once times 2x squared again times 2x squared for the last time. So now it's not 2 plus 2 plus 2, it's 2 times 2. That's 4. 4 times 2, 8 is the number here. You notice I like to cross off my numbers. And then this is 2, 4, 6. So this is tricky because we multiply the numbers, but we don't multiply the exponents when we're in expanded form. So what might a student do here? They might accidentally write something that isn't quite exactly what we want. All right, how are we doing? Let's take a look at this next one. You filled this one in. Oh, another number. 3x to the 4th once, 3x to the 4th twice, 3x to the 4th a third time. So the x is 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. But 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27 here. Oh my gosh, so how are we gonna get 32x to the 15? So with 15, I probably want a 5 somewhere. This one is pretty hard. This is gonna come from, did you know that 32 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. We did this a couple days on our powers of 2. So if I want them to be, there to be 5 of them, maybe this was 2. And then there's x to the 15. Maybe it was x to the 3rd and then to the 5th. I wonder if you got that one. That's a very challenging level one. For 24, there are so many choices. What's one that you maybe thought of that would work to make 24 as the final answer? Maybe you thought of x to the 3rd to the 8th power. Maybe you thought of x to the 4th to the 6th power. Maybe it was just x squared to the 12th. Any of these combinations work. So fun. And so what are we seeing as the rule? What do we do to the powers to get that final answer? I think you probably got it. I don't know. Let's try another one. This one's -2, 1, -2 to the 7th. Again, that's 2, and we need 3 of them. So here we have these negatives. That's going to make this a little bit tricky. Again, we're multiplying. So I know this is 7 plus 7 plus 7. X is 21. But the numbers are a little bit harder for me. So the -2 times -2 is +4. And +4 times -2 is -8. So if you ever get a negative number to the power, make sure to multiply it out on your paper and cancel out when there's 2 negatives, they become a positive. All that to say, if there's an odd number of negatives, it will be negative. But if there's an even number, they'll usually cancel each other out in pairs. What about for this one, which just has y? Let's see, this is x to the 10th y times x to the 10th y. Together, these two x's become x to the 20. And the y, they're both there. And how many y's are there? 2. So a student might forget this one. This is so fun. The whole thing's to the 0 power. So this one is just 1. And what's the law? We do x to the a times b when we see the exponents together. So the general rule with exponents with the same base and power to a power, right? That's what I'm calling this. Power to a power is to multiply the exponents. For example, let's do 6, 7. X to the 6th to the 7th power would simplify to x to the 42 because you multiply the exponents. Oh, so fun. So just like before, what are we gonna do now? Well, now we're gonna do a little bit of paper practice, see if you can get the right answer, and then some IXL to see how that goes. So here we are. Why couldn't the chicken find her egg? We'll do a couple of these together. I'll actually start with number 18. Why not? Because it seems like the craziest one. Wow, there's a lot going on here. So you can see that sometimes, like this one is just gonna be the old rule from before, but this one has the power, this one has the power. So you're gonna be looking at combining them all together. Hopefully this is not too hard for you. So here I have this one, that's gonna become x squared, 3 times 2, y to the 6th, times x squared. And so together, this first part is gonna be x to the 2 plus 2, 4, y to the 6th, plus. Now we can only add these if we get the exact same variables and exponents for the other one. So let's see. This is going to be squared squared. So I'm gonna give it to both. This is y squared times x to the 4th times y to the 4th. And now I have the 4 in this, so I have x to the 4th. 2 and 4 make 6 when I add y to the 6th. And I'm gonna add this one plus this one. 1 plus 1 is 2, x to the 4th, y to the 6th. And do I see it on here? Oh, EE. So for 18, Simplify each expression, find your answer below, cross out the box containing your answer. Oh, okay. So it won't be this saying. Let's try one more together. I'm picking one that has some negatives for us. I'm picking number 10. So on number 10, this is going to be a negative squared. So that's going to become a positive. So it's going to be negative x squared, y squared. And then we have times by negative xy squared. So this negative is going to become a positive. So the answer is going to be negative, let's see, x squared, and here's an x. This x is to the first power. When we don't see it, it's 1, because that's going to increase our exponent to x to the third. And there's one negative sign, so negative x to the third. Okay, my x's are done. And then y squared and y squared together makes y to the fourth. So this is our answer, and let's find it down here. Negative x to the fifth, that's not what we want. Oh, here it is. It's EL, and that we're gonna cross off. So have fun, take your time. You can work on these with your friends, and when you finish this, there's an IXL of all the exponent rules combined. And I will see you on Monday, and I'll get to collect all of these.